NovotnyNutritionandWellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. It's April, and that's almost over, and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny skies expected today. A great spring day with an afternoon high of around 70. Tonight, though, we'll see a chance of showers and an overnight low of around 48. And tomorrow, we'll see that showers chance continue. Cooler and windy conditions tomorrow with a high of around 60. A meteorologist, Al Fleck, for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Like that. Just that quick. Joey, you just did it. Hey, Austin. There's a video. I love Joey Porter. I do, because we were in the combine together. I love Peasy, and when they used to play the Ravens, they had this thing, had him mic'd up, and they went past, and he's like, "That's all you had to do was walk by. Now I'm hyped. That's all you had to do was to talk to me about a little something." But this is Old School, the OG crew. K-Dub is down at the NFL draft.
We always apologize because we get Jay fired up in the break. They missed the best Jay Foreman. Me and Austin get the best Jay Foreman ever, and they
no, you ain't got the best Jay Foreman to get on that incredible hawk that's Hennessy and Hypnotic.
No, that's the Jay Foreman after dark.
Yeah, that's the one that would be that sponsorship level would probably
right.
Be about $30,000 a year.
Right.
Anyways, this is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut, tons of stuff going on in the sports world. First and foremost, we want to thank them for their support and then allow us to do what we do. But tons of going on in the sports world. You got spring ball, you got the transfer portal over there or down there at the stadium that's opening and closing with the vortex. So you got the Deion Sanders situation, which I've read the best quote from Deion Sanders ever. I applaud him for how he's handling it. Regardless if you're mad or not, there's tons of people that got more people in the portal or will than Deion. Anyways, number 3, Lamar Jackson finally gets signed. Aaron had his press conference yesterday, which was a little weird in itself. The quote that he had about Zach Wilson, I'm going to make his life great off the field. How? You guys you're twice his age, but maybe you just want, maybe it's the kid that you never had, right? And then we got the draft tonight.
Save me, C.J.
And they're talking about trading out of the pick. The signing of Lamar Jackson does change some things, for your Colts, and didn't really affect my Houston Texans. But it's countdown for some guys that are gonna experience a once in a lifetime opportunity. I was fortunate enough to be drafted, and it's something you never forget. And once you get drafted, then the real work starts. And if you don't get drafted, the real work already has started. Now you got to work even harder. And but the NFL draft is always exciting for me. I like it. I've always watched it ever since it became even when it was small. And it was very, they only did like 15 picks and they barely had it on ESPN.
Oh, the old ESPN headquarters.
They looked like they were. They looked like they were in like a newsroom. Well, first of all, they were in like a hotel lobby or a hotel ballroom.
Yes.
And then now you have everybody and anybody doing it, and it's a great thing. And we got 3 guys that went to the combine from Nebraska: Trey Palmer, Baby Gronk, Travis Vokolek, and O'Shawn Mathis. And then Garrett Nelson probably should, or hopefully, get a call. And there's a host of other guys that are going to be trying to get opportunities. So the Nebraska thing is alive and well. And so you obviously want to cheer for them. But I will say this: I had an interesting conversation today with a former teammate, and by no means are we Scott Frost, or at least I can only speak for myself, and I could generally speak for him, but I don't speak on him. That's just because he can more than well speak for himself. By no means am I a Scott Frost apologist, right, or whatever you want to call it. But the one thing that goes unnoticed, and it was brought to my attention, so this isn't, it obviously is kind of was thinking about it, but it wasn't my original part in the conversation today, was, you heard about certain players going in and were upset with Scott last year, the year before, whenever it was. Okay. That's fine. Okay. But if Scott Frost on his own, I remember Scott Frost told me this, though. He said, I'm going to move Cam Jurgens to center, and he's going to be one of the best centers in the nation on his own. So as much as people dog him, you got to give him credit. Cam's got to give him credit, because he not only moved Cam there, he kept him there through some hard times. Remember Dusty Rhodes talking about hard times?
Hard times.
There were some hard times for Cam when he was in the snapping issues. So again, I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm not an apologist, and Scott's probably not getting a Christmas card, but I will give him credit where credit's due. And also, he's made Cam pretty much being able to write his own career in at the next level. So there, as bad as he did in recruiting and developing, he had the wherewithal to see somebody that he was a tight end. Now, when Cam came out of Beatrice, he was a tight end, phenomenal athlete, because he was like the Jolly Green Giant. You be hearing about this Cam Jurgens. I was just like, man, listen, you're from Beatrice. He can't be dunking. He was dunking in like 6th, 7th grade. You heard about him, all this, but to have the vision to put him at center, then also to have the wherewithal and the support to keep him through there, props need to be given to him on that. I'm thinking about draft day, but then also by Cam himself. And you understand that dude, he got your pockets fat there, brother. Okay, because
he put in work. He put in work.
Because at the end of the day, if you're at Michigan or if you're at Ohio State, you snap the ball like that, they don't care what type of athlete you are. You sitting over there doing the same things we doing, watching on the sideline. So with that being said, the draft, DP, we got 4 or 5 minutes. We can't even get into the draft. Well, actually, what we're going to do? We're going to stay right in the Nebraska wheelhouse.
Okay.
Let's just go with the 4 main guys,
okay,
even though Garrett didn't go to the combine, right?
Okay.
Let's go with the 4 main guys: Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Baby Gronk, Travis Vokolek, Trey Palmer. First question is, how many of those 4 of Nebraska draft eligible guys get drafted, including ones I haven't mentioned? How many do you think get drafted? And then number 2, who do you think goes first?
Trey goes first. The Trey love in emails and DMs where people ask about Trey. Because I'm here, they'll ask, you get the same thing, right? Where people reach out and say, okay, my people looking at one of your dudes.
Yeah.
And that's really where you get a sense and a feel. And if you think of the 6 markets that I'm connected to, so the 6 markets that I have people in the teams, in the organizations, or in the media in those spaces, Trey has been the topic of conversation for 5 of those cities. 5 of them.
Right.
To tell you that Washington, Carolina, Houston really feel like Trey could help them. And that's a big statement, because when you have that kind of game changer burner speed and you don't have a guy that's locked in at number 1, they love it.
Right.
So I think Trey, late second round, early third round. I think most of those people really, if he's there in the third round, he's going early. That seemed to be the space that he was in.
Right.
There was one organization from back east that said that they thought of jumping up. Now, I could say because they made a free agent move, if they hadn't made the free agent move, Trey was in the conversation. He would have been a perfect fit. They went free agent and got somebody that used to do what Trey now does well.
Right. Well, what he does well is stretch the field. I think I think he runs really good. I think, a lot of times when you're a burner, and Trey's been fast, ever since Mickey's known him since since 12 years old or whatever. So he's always been at that kind of burner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that I think Mickey's really taken Trey to the next level was, and this is just my perspective, was his route running. I felt, because most of the time burners don't run very good routes because their best attribute is run fast. They aren't detailed, meticulous in how to run routes. Being under the tutelage of Mickey Joseph has helped him use his speed in different ways. He actually, what people don't really, because I guess they don't get to watch the game kind of like I do, or access to some stuff, where Trey has learned how to change speed based on the routes, right? So he can change the tempo of the route, which then he can accelerate at the right time and catch it. The biggest thing Trey's had to do, and he got better at as the season went on, was catch the ball with his hands in traffic. He had a little bit of inconsistency, drop the easy ones, make the hard ones.
Yep.
So that's pretty much his own knock. But I tell you what, NFL wide receiver coaches and teams feel like if that's the knock on you, they will have you set up in a situation where you're catching so many balls off the jug machine before and after practice that will curtail it.
Yep.
And so it's a pretty, deep receiver. It's always going to be a deep receiver class, because playing wide receiver is a lot more fashionable and easy now because of the way that the offenses are structured in 7-on-7, high school football, college football, than the pros. So Trey will go in there and go where he's at, and then once he gets there, he just got to make the most of it.
There aren't a lot of 70 catch, 9 touchdown, 4-3 dudes.
No, there's not.
That's the thing.
There's not. You can say a little bit about his size, but Trey's bigger than what people think, and he plays big and he's competitive. So he'll be just fine. He'll get drafted. I think he will, and then after that, who do you think? Do you think there's another one
at number 2? For whatever weird reason, I think O'Shawn's number 2.
Yeah.
I think O'Shawn's number 2, fourth round, 5th round. Garrett falls back. And then the sleeper for me is, I'm stunned at the number of people who have asked about Chancellor Brewington. The number of people who asked about that dude out of nowhere, like in the last 3 weeks.
Right.
Because special teams,
I don't
fluid,
think he'll drafted, but he'll
good teammate, like all the boxes checked that you check at the end of yours. Like he'll be a free agent at somebody's free agent camp. But the fact that people are mentioning him is kind of a surprise. It's also kind of cool because we know he's a good young man.
Yeah, he's always been a dude that he came in, they didn't know what to do with him, which is weird. Why you recruit him, didn't know what to do with him. But I mean, it's
that's another part of that conversation.
But then it's like he was in practice, he always was open, and he would always do it. And plus, he's shown the ability to be physical. He has a chance to play football for a long time compared to what people assume he would. I think O'Shawn would be the second guy drafted. later based on his film. This year's film wasn't that good, but I think he had a good offseason, and I've seen that work in your favor.
Yep.
You know what it is? I played with a guy that didn't have his best senior year, have a really good all-star type of offseason, go second round. O'Shawn won't go that high because of the depth of it, but he'll get drafted. I think Baby Gronk is a draftable guy. The thing that hurts him, and I've been in that situation before, which we'll talk about this next segment, the draft is so deep.
We got Kevin next segment.
Oh, dang. Well, we'll go to top of the draft is really deep in tight ends.
Positions matter.
But Baby Gronk will be getting an NFL paycheck for quite some time.
Oh, absolutely.
And he just got to stay healthy. So,
absolutely agree to that.
Good first segment. Also, big up, congrats to Lamar Jackson. Stay steadfast.
He got that money.
Get that money, player. We got Thirsty Thursday coming up. Strick is gone. I got basketball practice, so I ain't going to be able to participate. But Kevin Myers coming in.
Austin's doing all the drinking.
That's right.
I've got a keynote speak at 5:30.
That's right.
Kevin.
All right.
It's Kevin and Austin.
Kevin
Double
and
dip,
I.
baby.
Anyways, we'll be back Thirsty Thursday. Kevin Meyer will be old school. We'll be back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstorats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Faculty and staff of Wilbur-Claytonia School District reminds us April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Please remember you reduce your accident risk by over 1,000% by staying off your cell phone when driving. Please make an impression on teen drivers regarding the threat or hazard that cell phone driving poses. There's a lot more at stake than a mere traffic ticket with motorcycles, bicycles, and our children at play. Slow down and watch out for kids always. For student safety, call 402-821-2266 or visit wilbur-claytonia.org.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado light duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel. So do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck. So stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with roof credit.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off stone edging, 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewel in Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
Wait a second. That was abrupt. My hands were wet. I was having a tough time unscrewing
It kind of just sounded like you cracked your knuckles or something there.
Yeah. It's a screw cap or a Stelvin closure, as they say in the pretentious wine world.
Which is where I'm comfortable.
That's your lane.
Yeah.
That's what you're about. Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Kevin. Good to see you.
You're just a shadow of your former self.
Well, yeah.
Is this going to
The
wreck
best kind of shadow.
Is this going to wreck the diet?
Nah, we're good. We're good. We're in maintenance and build mode now. I'm not losing much anymore. We're building.
Oh,
back
you're
up.
building back
Yeah,
up.
so
All right.
I need some carbs for that.
Heck
Help
yeah,
me
you
out
do.
with that.
And hydration.
And hydration.
Yeah. So, well, what do you think we ought to do first? Do you want to do the beer first or do the wine first?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guest. You're
Well,
back. Do it.
You know I always go beer first.
Okay. So beer first it is. So in my efforts to remain topical, I brought in a beer from Dry Dock, which is a new brewery to the state of Nebraska, and it's fishing season. So we all need a dry dock to be able to fish from or hop in your boat with, and that's why I brought it. This is their Apricot Blonde, and Dry Dock Brewing is out of Aurora, Colorado, and again, just kind of bringing our man Austin along here.
Slowly but surely.
Eventually, we'll take the training wheels off, and we'll be doing some, double IPAs and big barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged stouts and heavy cabs and all that kind of stuff.
How long do I have my training wheels?
Well, I think it's a feel thing. So we have to just kind of, sort of see where we're
I'll
at.
tell you what I can handle. You'll pick up on what I can handle.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yes. Absolutely.
Just one of these weeks, text him beforehand. Say, hey, I'm ready. You can let go of the bike. Right. Let me fly.
We're doing this.
You bring in the triple IPA. You bring in all the IBUs, and we'll really see sink or swim.
And if I run out kicking and screaming, it's my own fault.
Right. Absolutely. But, like I said before, there's levels to this stuff. And for those of you playing at home, Mark said IBUs. That means International Bitters Units.
Oh, they all know.
They know.
I didn't know. This training wheel's still on. Didn't know.
So yeah, beers are rated by how bitter they are, and so like a low bitter beer would be like 20 IBUs, and a high would be like 100 IBUs.
This one doesn't happen to list it, does it?
I doubt it.
I would doubt it as well.
This would be not a bitter beer at all.
What's the scale? It's like 0 to 100, or
that sounds about right.
I think so.
Yeah,
probably.
You'll have to ask somebody who knows what he's talking about. I'm not sure.
Kevin, that's why you're here. Oh, okay.
Well, that's
okay.
right. That is why I'm here.
The IBUs are measured on a scale of 0 to essentially infinity.
Ah.
And it sounds like a challenge
you
for
keep
somebody.
going more bitter.
Right. And I'm wondering like how they measure that. Like, do they
I've always wondered that.
It's it's not like they have like a
Okay. More specifically, IBUs measure the parts per million of isohumalone from hops in a beer.
I knew it was all about the isohumalone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. If I were to guess.
I mean, it's all isohumalones these days. Need some.
You walk down the street, everyone's just talking isohumalones.
It's really. I mean, I knew we'd get to this point. I just didn't think we'd get there that fast. But that and flux capacitors and
gigawatts.
Yeah, generating the 1.21 gigawatts necessary for time travel. Might need to fix that Fetzer valve too while we're at it. So dry dock. So this is an apricot blonde. I'm kind of liking this because the apricot is fresh and subtle. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't taste like candy in the beer.
It's not syrupy or anything like that.
Right.
It's not sickeningly, cloyingly sweet, but like you could get from some fruited beers. It's subtle, but smooth.
Got some great balance, and I think it's perfect for a warm weather beer.
I feel like it takes the top off a little bit, mellows it out a little bit. It takes the sweet of the apricot, to me, takes the bitter off.
Sure.
It doesn't overpower by any means. You can tell it's there. I haven't had an actual apricot in so long. I used to love them as kids. It's kind of brought me back a little bit, Kevin. Got me reminiscing a little
Nostalgia.
bit. Yeah.
Cool.
Now, Austin, in the commercial break, you were pronouncing it apricot. And I'm curious if you changed it because Kevin and I were
Societal
saying apricot.
pressure, yes.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
You can say apricot. It's fine.
We'll see.
Okay.
I did get in trouble on the text line for saying divisive last week instead of divisive.
Wait. Who says divisive?
Nobody says divisive.
Text line.
Divisive.
See?
It's divisive.
It's divisive. That's not even a divisive word. Some words are divisive.
I mean, it's
That
based
one's
on the
universal.
root division, which would then lend it. But the English language has lots and lots of caveats, and it is divisive.
I did look this up, and both are acceptable, but divisive is
I
preferred.
have never heard divisive. Never once in my life until you said it just now.
So would you say submissive?
Yeah.
Yes. You
No,
would.
because there's two S's.
Yeah,
in
two
that
S's.
word.
Right? Yeah.
There are rules to this English language.
But we digress. So what we are now going to have is a white wine from New Zealand, a Kiwi wine. It is from the Marlborough region, and basically New Zealand is
Marlborough,
just like the cigarettes.
Okay,
yeah. And New Zealand is essentially two islands, and the Marlborough area is the north tip of the South Island. And what's interesting is that pretty much every wine producing country in the world grows Sauvignon Blanc and makes wine from Sauvignon Blanc. It's about as intercontinental of a grape varietal that there is. But there's something about the Sauvignon Blanc that grows in New Zealand, and no one really knows why. It could be soil compositions, climate, you name it. But it grows a high percentage of a compound called pyrazine, and pyrazine is the same compound found in grapefruits. So this is a great patio pounder, warm weather. It's a dry wine, but it's refreshing. It has that citrusy component. It's really going to go well with like a grilled cedar flake salmon or something along those lines. Just like squeezing a lemon on your fish, a wine like this actually pairs really, really nicely with that citrusy component.
You know what it also pairs really, really well with is that beer that we just had. Like
It's
they
working
complement each other really well.
It did kind of set it up pretty nice, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we got the apricots and
excellent pronunciation,
and then we also have the grapefruit of the Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, and this is from a winery called Orchard Lane, and it's, I think, pretty indicative of what a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc tastes like, and what's kind of interesting is that every wine is like a person. Every wine is unique in and of itself. It's different than every other wine out there. It has a history behind it, has a family behind it. And what's interesting is that even though they all sort of fit into this category of being very crisp, very clean, dry, and then having that high concentration of pyrazine, they all are still very unique in and of themselves. And so this one, like I said, is just kind of great for sitting out, having a cold glass of wine, super crisp, really clean, and easy to drink.
So you mentioned that the Sauvignon Blanc grapes are grown almost everywhere. Is that because the grapes themselves are fairly hardy to different climates, different soils, things like that? Or is it something about the winemaking process that is a little less temperamental?
I think it's just the grape itself is a little less temperamental.
Mm-hmm.
Some grape varietals are very finicky. Usually it has to do with skin composition. So the skin of the fruit, like say like a Pinot Noir, is very thin and very delicate. So if you try to grow it in a place that gets too much moisture too quick, the grapes will actually burst. Or if you
makes it hard to make wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
and then,
easy if you can catch it.
True. Right. Yeah, just put a bowl underneath. I don't know. Or if you get too like heat spikes, then they'll just shrivel up.
Yeah.
So you need a hardy grape, and Sauvignon Blanc is just kind of one of those that is relatively easy to grow. Generally speaking, you won't ever see any oak barrel aging on the Sauvignon Blanc. If they do, it'll be just a kiss with the oak, because it is so crisp and clean that you can overwhelm it pretty quickly.
How much time would that little kiss be?
How much time would what?
In the oak barrel?
Like, maybe a couple of weeks to a month. And then you can also use a combination of new oak versus used oak. So if you use more of a neutral barrel, which are barrels that have been used over and over again, they're going to impart less flavor and color into the wine than if you use a brand new charred oak American oak barrel. So, excuse me, it's just not the type of grape that lends itself to oak, but it is the type of grape that lends itself to being able to make good wine everywhere.
It's a really good glass of wine. I'm sorry, I haven't had much alcohol.
Yeah, Mark's You're gonna need a ride home there, Mark.
Hey, maybe Uber's on its way. No, it's really refreshing. I noticed, as you can maybe tell, my glass got empty pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was I mean, shoot, I want that.
Well, there's half a bottle here left, so you can take that.
Well, I think I'm gonna
do it.
But yeah, I'm gonna wait. Well, it's open. I'm not gonna wait. I'm going to drink it is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to buy another one and wait for a nice hot night by the campfire and just enjoy that, because it is crisp and refreshing. Those are good words for it.
As I say, the rest of our audience isn't as lucky as Mark. They don't get to just take the rest home. What does it run them in Myers Cork and Bottle? You get both of what you got.
Right at $20. It's called Orchard Lane. It's a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, and a little bit of fun side note about Sauvignon Blanc is it's actually one of the parent grapes of Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a big, bold red. And historically, the primary grape varietal in Bordeaux, France, was Cabernet Franc, and it was growing adjacent to vineyards of Sauvignon Blanc, and it would create these natural hybrids. And they began experimenting with this grapevine that was both red and white genetically. So they took the Cabernet from Cabernet Franc and the Sauvignon from Sauvignon Blanc, and there you have Cabernet Sauvignon. It's born just like that, and it's symbiotic. They made babies, and it created a really, really good red wine, even though this one's white. Go figure.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
The dry dock. What does it come in? How do you get it?
We've got them singled out, so you can buy them for $2 a can. Otherwise, they come in 6-packs.
$2, Mark. That's it.
Yep.
It's a steal.
Yep.
It's a steal.
Otherwise, I believe they're about $10.99 a 6-pack. So you save a little bit on a per can basis by buying the 6-pack.
Would you be offended if I poured some orange juice in it and made myself a little beer mimosa?
Into the apricot?
Yeah. Not the wine. Not the wine.
Yeah, spice up the citrus with the wine.
No, not at all. I mean, you could even do that with wine if you wanted to. It'd be like a non-sparkling mimosa. So a beer mimosa, but with the orange apricot, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely what I would do with it. So
it's coming in at a whopping 5.1%. So if you want,
I do want to dilute that a little bit. Yeah. Thank you.
Good stuff, Kevin.
Austin,
another winning week. Well done.
Thank you.
Mark, thanks for stepping in.
Anytime.
Appreciate it.
Literally anytime.
DP and J both have commitments, and so they don't want to show up and have booze on the breath. And,
well, some of us are talking on the radio for another 3 hours yet,
yeah.
and are still drinking. So some of us are tougher than others. What can I say?
I'd keep it going, man.
That's the plan. He's Kevin Meyer, Myers Cork and Bottle. We appreciate you, Kevin. Thanks for stopping by. More Old School DP and J next.
Thanks, fellas.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Jay Foreman. I wore gear to protect my health on the football field, and I'm protecting it now by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Get up to date while it's still free and stay protected. Learn more at healthylincoln.org.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like, just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 24th through Saturday, April 29th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
For 75 years, Cedars has been a refuge for children in need, providing kids with safety, stability, and enduring family relationships. Learn more about the organization and how to be part of it every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Cedars Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is gonna ruin my night. Don't do it, Houston. Houston, keep my everybody
me,
call
CJ.
Houston. Tell them do not mess this draft up.
Save me, CJ.
Now, I'll tell you what though. I will say this: if they take Will Anderson number 2 or Carter, then I'll be fine. Because those two are the two best players in the draft.
Generational defender.
Will Anderson is the best player in the draft. Carter's number 2, and Will's safer. No off the field. Still has a ton. I mean, he's dominant. So I'd understand that. Then you better go get Anthony Richardson or something. Don't bring Will Levis down there.
Do it, I dare you.
Don't bring
Take it
Will,
out of the
'cause I'm
Colts'
telling
hands.
you.
Do it.
You
I
better
dare
hope.
you.
Look,
Do it.
The reports. Hey, watch Austin's face. The reports were that they were printing out the Colts Levis jerseys.
Oh, I know. I know, and I hate it. Do you hear what I was telling Strick? I said if the Colts take Levis, I'm not on the show tomorrow. So
take a day
this
off.
is my day off. I'm
Jake
telling you right
Sorensen
now,
number-
DP. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow if they take Will Levis.
This Jake Sorensen number 2. I hear you, man. Let me tell you something. Houston, Texas take Will Levis. I can say I don't even have one of them. Remember the leather jackets that they wore to New England, got the brakes beat up?
Yeah.
I don't even have one of them. I'll buy one off of eBay and burn it. Will Levis, I mean, look, and this is nothing against Will Levis. All right. You ain't a franchise quarterback. Okay. I don't want you in Houston. That's my team. So we'll see. It says everybody's saying now, I'm watching this mock draft here. The guy he got him trading this pick. I don't know why. You got the number. You worked this hard. Hey, Houston worked awful hard to get the number 2 pick.
You took a lot of thumpings.
A lot of thumpings. You got rid of.
Except for the one you didn't. Thanks, Levy.
This draft here by Todd McShay says Houston takes Will Anderson Jr. Please, nothing wrong with Tyree Wilson, but we drafted Stingley based off his practice tape. Essentially, that's what we did. The thing was out there. We should have asked Mickey Joseph. Was it really true that this dude was able to handle Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson to the point that you get drafted top 3 over Sauce Gardner, who's an All-Pro, out of nowhere? Okay, yeah, he ran a good 40, but he had like Liz Frank or something like that foot injury. Lo and behold, halfway through the rookie season, tire blown out. Now you up here, you got Will Anderson that's been the most came to Alabama as a freshman and started at Alabama for Nick Saban as a freshman. Had 16 sacks. Probably should have won the Heisman last year. One of the most dominant players, especially, and still dominated. Everybody's keying on him. And you up here talking about Tyree Wilson because he's the it guy with a bad foot, and he couldn't even work out. So now we're going to do it again?
Maybe they have a type.
Yeah, that is true. So the mock draft is up there, but people, they said Tennessee Titans have been calling Ryan Day. Night and day. Tennessee might trade up to number 2
Ohio State
to make
connection.
sure you guys don't mess up. But people have been asking me all about the draft, right? We asked Strict about it and stuff like that. And you talk about getting overlooked. There's 2 guys that motivated me to the utmost in when I got drafted. I went 156, and 56. Obviously, they just took out the 156 is a great number or whatever. 2 guys. One went to, at this time, they were the Redskins. I'm from Frederick, Maryland. Gaithersburg, that's the home team, right? They needed linebackers. Charlie Castley was the GM at the time.
LeVar.
They took Nate Stimson from Georgia Tech in the 4th round.
Who?
Exactly. Homeboy did not go to the combine. Only started a handful of games. He must have had a good pro day. And they drafted him at linebacker in the 4th round. That's supposed to be me.
I don't think he ever played.
He never played.
I don't think he ever played.
And these are the guys you track. Now
Yeah.
everybody else was good. Look, we had 32 linebackers drafted that draft out of my draft. It's you will fall in that draft, and everybody's in the same. It's kind of like tight ends in this draft. There's tons of tight ends.
But both Washington I know that Washington thought they were going to draft you.
They did, but then Charlie Castley drafted Nate Stimson. Okay, Georgia Tech. That's the letdown. The other one, Miami Dolphins. I interviewed with them 3 times. I still got family and friends down there from when my dad was there. It would have been set up pretty good. They drafted Brian Jones. And guess where he went to college? Just guess. No, that's where Stimson went, Georgia Tech. Guess what other powerhouse school that he went to? Oregon State. Ain't played a lick. Them 2 dudes. Now everybody else, Wally Rainier, me and Eric Barton, we went a little bit later. He was from Maryland. He ended up playing 10 years. He did really good, and he's going through some health issues right now. But
it's really funny.
It's really funny how the draft works and how guys get overlooked. And we talked about it with Strick earlier.
It's funny for me picturing Jay Foreman, Miami Dolphin, because I know how you feel about the Miami Dolphins having been in Buffalo.
Well, if they paid him, he'd feel a whole lot different.
I know.
If I would have went to the Dolphins, I would have hated Buffalo.
Right.
But the fact that I went to the B-Low in the 716 ring, it was Dolphins. This was personal. Now, if the Dolphins called me in free agency, I would have went there. I just wonder what guy tonight is going to get overlooked in the draft or slip in the draft, and then it's going to be like Aaron Rodgers. Like, just think of all the dummies that didn't draft Aaron Rodgers that needed quarterbacks within a year or two.
That's
a
whole lot of people.
Right.
That's a whole lot of people got it wrong. Same for Tom Brady. Like we can go through it.
Well,
but that draft,
New England,
that 99 draft was hilarious.
Like New England can't even say that, you know, we always knew it. You drafted Tom Brady in the 6th round. You could have drafted him in the 4th round. You drafted him in the 6th round.
You didn't know.
So you didn't know. Now it worked. Now you just hit the lottery. Okay. So New England, yes, you actually flipped the card over and got the winning lottery ticket.
This was 99. And I always say this: the first pick of the draft sets the tone for the entire draft. So if there's going to be effery, it's going to start early at the top. 1996 in a draft with Edgerrin James, Ricky Williams, Torrey Holt, Champ Bailey, Jay Foreman. You know, you know who went first in that draft?
Yeah, I know. Tim Couch.
Tim Couch went first. Akili Smith went 3rd.
Exactly. You know,
my boy Edge. Yes, sir.
Look, man, Carolina is going to set the table for this whole thing, and nobody's sphincter is comfortable in Carolina right now. Charlotte is tight.
No, they got to. They're gonna draft Bryce Young.
They are.
They're gonna draft Young because of the simple fact that he's a winner. You know, you got a new coach with him. They'll scheme up for him. He'll do well. They'll make the right choice. After that, all hell brought the break loose. This mock draft says right here, Tennessee's going to get C.J. Stroud. Indianapolis Colts going to get Will Levis. There's got
See
to
you on
be,
Monday.
There's got to be a trade. Matter of fact, I hope this happens. You know what? Houston, don't draft a quarterback until the 2nd round. And getting Hayden Hooker or whatever his name is from Tennessee, and then rehab him or sign somebody that just could be a placeholder till he's healthy. Because I want Indianapolis Colts to draft Will Levis. I want Indianapolis Colts to do
3-day weekend, baby.
Hold on. I want the Indianapolis Colts DP to trade with Houston up to number 2 and draft Will Levis.
Give him number 12 too.
Yeah. No. Ask him if he'll
number 18.
Will
Will
Levis is dumb enough and come in and try to request 18. Call up Peyton Manning. Hey, I went to your Manning passing camp. Can I wear 18? Peyton Manning was like, hey, this is your car warranty service. You have the wrong number. Anyways, we're at the bottom of the hour. We got to catch back up. We got to get into some commercials, pay the bills. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to dive into more of the draft. We're going to try to break down every draft eligible Nebraska player, possibly. Talk a little bit about the NBA playoffs. Giannis had something to say. I don't agree with it, but I love some Giannis. I like that his sphincter muscle got tight and got a little bit of dog in him, but you know, that was a little too late in the game there, Giannis. But Old School will be back at the top of the hour.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Nutrition Authority invites you to save 35 to 75% off at the Spring Mega Sale. We're taking our better than internet prices and cutting them even deeper, bringing you the biggest sale of the season. Monday, April 24th through Saturday, April 29th, the Spring Mega Sale is on at Nutrition Authority. For location information, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
They say that April showers bring May flowers, but May delivers a lot more than that at GE Landscape Supply. Stop by for the Spring Landscape Days sale with almost everything on sale. Get 15% off of mulch, 10% off decorative rock, 20% off of flagstone, 25% off of decorative cobblestone, 15% off of stone edging, and 10% off soils. Save up to 25% rain or shine from May 1st through the 6th at GE Landscape Supply for the Spring Landscape Days sale. Open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscaping or trees to be planted a safe distance from electrical lines and equipment to give crews safe access. Visit les.com/trees to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agricultural storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny skies expected today. A great spring day with an afternoon high of around 70. Tonight, though, we'll see a chance of showers and an overnight low of around 48. And tomorrow, we'll see that showers chance continue. Cooler and windy conditions tomorrow with a high around 60. A meteorologist Kyle Fleck for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Old School, brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients and butcher shop located at 84th and Havelock. Every type of meat, every type of cut. They have pasta, their own spices, sauces, seafood, frozen meals, both single and family serving. They have their own jerky. And they have a pastry department and some sorbet. I like the strawberry sorbet. DP has had the lemon and coffee.
Yes, sir.
So it is plentiful in there, especially on a beautiful day like today. But it is draft night. We got to dive into it. We are now 1 hour and 55 minutes from it kicking off in KC, Kansas City, Missouri, as T.O. like to say.
What's the BC Boys song? No sleep till Indy.
Yeah. So I think by all assumptions, by draft experts, the Carolina Panthers are going to draft Bryce Young. Then after that, all hell's going to break loose. And it's not just because Houston might not be sold on CJ Stroud. It's not just because there's teams that love CJ Stroud that might just trade up to get, the pick higher, which is the number 2 pick. But from the people I've talked to in Houston, a couple friends and different scouts, and listening to people, the consensus is there's only about 16 to maybe 18 players that are realistically first-round picks. So that what that lets you know, after that, there's going to be a mad scramble. This is all assumption. Mad scramble to draft those 18 players. Realistically, probably about 25, but let's just say 18 players. Then after that, you're going to see, I would assume, or the potential could be there, of a lot of movement, trading back in the draft, trading out of the draft, get multiple picks next year, possibly players getting traded for present-day picks, right? So essentially, if you really need – so if there's only 18 guys, right, and there's going to be a quick run on offensive tackle, there's a ton of tight ends, so you can see some of those guys fall to second, third, and maybe fourth round that generally should have maybe been first and second round picks, considering that the way, the offenses are structured with multiple tight ends. So you could see, say like you have a linebacker, just say, for instance, or just say an offensive tackle that's up and coming, that's in a contract year, and DP is the GM of just say the Jets, or just say a team that is tackle needy, and they weren't able to get a deal done to get up and get one of those, say, top 4 or 5 tackles, but somebody that is already played in the NFL, kind of like a transfer portal type of deal, that might be up for his tendered type of deal, which is like his 4th or 5th year of his rookie contract, or in the middle of a contract, right? And it may be a ascending player or somebody that has a potential. You could get a phone call to get that, because everybody knows that if you, whether it was the Jets case, drafted or acquired Aaron Rodgers, or you have drafted a quarterback in the last year or two, or in the present draft, that you need a legitimate offensive tackle, whether it's right or left tackle or guard or whatever the hole may be. You can see some of that going on. It'll be interesting to see when the runs go on tight ends, when the runs go on offensive tackles, when the running backs get picked after Robinson, right? You got Gibbs that has the I never felt like Gibbs was an Alabama running back, because he wasn't very powerful, but extremely good out of the backfield and on screens game, inside, outside zone. Well, that kind of, really, is an NFL type of running back, right? So, where do these guys, do they slip after Robinson, because of the runs on tight ends or the runs on the offensive tackles? Then the quarterbacks are going to be huge. After the top 4, who's the 5th? And then who drafts, right? You got to think, Minnesota's been connected to Hooker for quite some time. Kirk Cousins, I think, is in the last year of his deal, I think. Guaranteed, probably another guaranteed 30-40 million, but Kirk Cousins is fleeced the whole NFL. Now,
gangster.
Do you draft him with the assumptions, right? And you got to think, though, let's also not forget, just a couple years ago, the Vikings have spent a second-round pick on the quarterback from Texas A&M, and then they had an offensive coordinator change, and he hated him and never gave him a chance. So you got to make sure it's lock and step with the Vikings GM and head coach. Both of them are new. Both of them will be, because they're both, the GM hired the coach. So it's going to be interesting to see the direction of the Vikings going forward if they choose a quarterback in the late first round, second round, or third round, because they were a 13-win team last year, but nobody expected them to be a 13-win team last year. Now, the true team played like they did in the playoffs, where the Giants came in there, and spanked them on the booty. How long do they ride the good fortunes of last year with the quarterback that is highly paid? And I will say this, Kirk Cousins the last 2 years has played well, but you have a tradable running back that could have been traded in Dalvin Cook. Again, the scenario like we talked about before, you need a real deal running back, i.e. hopefully Buffalo Bills, that he can play with his brother, or the Dolphins that he's been linked to, right? Tradable asset with Dalvin Cook. Do you kind of systematically, DP, if you're the Vikings, right? We have a lot of Vikings fans that listen. We obviously Chiefs in Denver, but we have a lot of Vikings fans. If you're the Vikings, do you systematically kind of implode this team with the smokescreen, right? Adam Thielen's in Carolina. So that's your stalwart. That's a guy that homegrown, walk on at Minnesota State, free agent.
Great story.
Made himself into a legit NFL receiver. Was okay with being number 2 to Justin Jefferson. Didn't want to take a super pay cut. 2 years in a row, he's gone, right? You got Harrison Smith, who's pretty much a Hall of Fame safety. He's long in the tooth. He took a pay cut, kind of like a la Adam Thielen did last year. So you know he's on the way out. Then you got rid of Hendricks, the linebacker, who was your captain, right? So now the middle of your defense went from a strength to a weakness. Then you flip to the other side. Kirk Cousins is the last year of the deal. The best way to systematically start doing it is starting to add pieces behind legitimate guys and then be like, oops, next year, we had to get rid of them.
Do they really think that they can't, that the 13-game winning season was a fluke and that they could not match that? Because if you're a play away from being in the NFC Championship game, good luck or not, don't you spend one more year? Because it's
if you did DP, they've already told on themselves though, because they already answered themselves.
Okay,
they got rid of Thielen, who's still your number 2 or number 3, and would have probably came back on a cap friendly deal. What he got
just to stay.
What he got in Carolina easily you could have made work in Minnesota.
Facts.
Got rid of Hendricks when he had a really good season last year, and he answered the bell every game, right? And then you got Harrison Smith that you brought back on a kind of cap friendly deal, and you were talking about getting rid of Dalvin Cook, and you didn't extend Kirk Cousins. So essentially, it's one more year, kind of like what you're saying, but in reality, we're systematically
it's 1 year with the dismount, with one foot out the door,
right? And when you do that, that's how you see guys get traded or cut by the trade deadline and during the season.
This is where I start to think the NFL transfer portal mentality starts to take effect, because if you're Minnesota and you win 13 games, to take a step down from away from Kirk Cousins is not necessarily a step down from Kirk Cousins. They could go back into the NFL free agent pool and get a Kirk Cousins level quarterback.
Can you?
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
Ooh.
For where you've put, for the people that will be eligible, because nobody on this draft board past 1 and 2 is going to save the Vikings next year.
Exactly. So who's out there as a free agent right now that you think right now, not the Kirk Cousins that was with your Commanders and Redskins.
Well,
I'm talking about Kirk Cousins the last 2 years with the Vikings.
Who are the free agent quarterbacks for next year? And they don't necessarily have to be free agent, because we know NFL make trades like they just hand out Tic Tacs. So if
people are locking up quarterbacks, you're not going to get Justin Herbert. You're not going to get Josh Allen.
You could get Kyler Murray next year. You could get.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay,
that's just disrespect. You know what? I don't even know if this is the real. What is Stephen A. Smith? This is blasphemy.
Who are the
Here's
free
what
agents?
we got. We have Cousins, like you just mentioned. Ryan Tannehill on the last year of his deal in Tennessee. Jacoby Brissett been going year to year. Mitchell Trubisky. Justin Herbert hasn't signed his rookie extension yet. Probably coming. Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, Sam Darnold, Jameis Winston, Drew Lock.
Oh yeah, they're drafting this year.
Gardner Minshew.
Oh yeah, they're definitely getting a quarterback. They're definitely getting a quarterback. Like, well, Minshew could be like, it's just weird enough in the NFL that people love Minshew, but
no, he ain't bringing
Minnesota Minshew, man, come on.
Way.
Baker.
No,
Drew Lock.
no. I would
Jameis Winston.
over those two choices.
Y'all disrespecting the game.
If you want to win,
I'm just naming names, Jay.
If you want to win next year, if you want to be in the 11 to 14
you bring
win,
in Jameis.
You bring in
Jameis,
who can do that. He can lead in his weird way. Minshew will manage in his Minshew way, right? He's not going to screw it up. He ain't going to set it on fire, but he ain't going to blow it up either. But yeah, I'm not sure that anybody at the bottom past number 2 can save them next year.
No. But it's not only that though. So what will happen is Kirk Cousins is there this year. Even if they draft
Kirk getting another year.
What about Jordan Love?
He's getting no.
No, you don't.
No.
Well,
him or Trey Lance, no. They both hot garbage. So you're going to get Kurt for another year.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's going to be make or break if they draft whoever they drafted for them. You mess around going to have Kirk Cousins in Minnesota for 3 more years. If you're not totally sold on the guy you draft this, if you draft somebody this year, if you're not totally sold, then in a year that he is your starting quarterback and not just a starter for a couple years. The guy that you expect to start for at least 4 to 5 years, because that's the length of a franchise.
Kurt will win at least 8 games the next 2 years.
Right. So if the guy that you draft
doesn't do that,
can't do that, and you're not willing to surround him with the pieces with it, there's 2 ways to look at it. Then you don't draft him, or you do put him in there and make sure you jettison Kirk Cousins, because at the end of the day, if you don't surround Kirk Cousins with certain weapons, he ain't gonna win anyway. So then
you got the best receiver in football, and it's not enough.
Well, you
got the best. You got one of the top 3 running backs in the game.
Offense has not been the problem.
Well, on that other side, if defense is your problem, you're disrespectful to the most important people on your defense.
Well, you just gutted it though.
Yeah, like I don't know what the Vikings are doing, quite frankly.
Well, they don't know what they're doing because they won 13 games this year and they expected to win 8.
Yeah, like we oopsed into it, and it's that thing that if you playing with house money, you tend to play with house money. So
yeah, you gotta go with it. You can't
like 13 wins. Look, remember, Nebraska fans understand 9 and 10 wins ain't a bad thing compared to what it could really end up being. And you don't want the Vikings. The Vikings don't want to be at the bottom of that black and blue division.
They've been there before.
But Detroit's coming.
Detroit is more than good.
Right.
Detroit is here.
Detroit's coming.
Detroit is here.
The Bears are a hiccup away from coming.
They got cap space for days.
Right. They're hiccups. Look, if you're not sure, stay happy. You ain't got to be excellent. Stay and be happy, because that 13 wins, look, 90% of the league would love to be the Minnesota Vikings at the end of last season.
Yeah, but will they be happy with 10 wins instead of 13 because Aaron's gone?
Yeah, if you were expecting,
you got to think Chicago's still a year or 2 away. You're
Detroit's up and the Packers are still.
The Packers are done. The Packers are done.
Do you really think that the
Packers are done?
Are they the seller, folks?
No, they're third. The Packers are done.
So break down that division for me. So is Detroit the team?
Should be the Vikings right now.
Even
without Thielen and all those guys.
Right.
And Detroit in a close second.
Right.
The Packers, Bears.
Ooh.
But the Packers are done essentially running the league because of getting rid of Aaron Rodgers.
And is there anything, and this is where I always tell people the way I watch the draft, is there any player who could change a team's fortune? Because otherwise it's just recreation.
Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat.
Right? It's just recreation.
I mean, we look at it right here, right? We'll look at these guys.
Who can change Carolina, right? So immediately we say Bryce Young.
I think C.J. Stroud can in the right situation. Majority of teams.
C.J. would own Houston.
Right. But I'm saying, you're talking about changing the draft. I'm talking about on the field.
Well,
Will Anderson can.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter definitely can, as long as he keeps the head on straight.
Right.
A cornerback, the 2 cornerbacks really can't, but they're going to be
a part of the conversation.
They're going to be plug and play right away. Yeah. Robinson, the running back, I think he's a top 10 player, so I think he could do it as well, but he has to get into the right situation. I think if he goes to Atlanta, that's really good with that young, exciting. Tyree Wilson, I'm not sold on because of the injury history. I think Nolan Smith is a workout guy. I think if he has a good surrounding cast around him, which he doesn't by this mock draft is in Philly, I like it. Zay Flowers, I think he's the sleeper as the receiver. I think he's a guy that's going to be a Pro Bowler by his 3rd year because of his run after the catch and how tough he is. Then you get into Paris Johnson, the tackle from Ohio State, and the best tight end in the draft is Kincaid. I think the biggest bust pick so far, besides Will Levis, and quarterbacks get bust on them so quick. But nobody realizes they don't have an offensive line. They didn't draft any receivers. I'm talking about like David Carr and all that. Lucas Van Ness.
Mm-hmm.
The testing out the 8 sacks is great.
Mm-hmm.
The experience to be a top 15 pick isn't there. And then if he goes to the Patriots, they're known for just keeping guys there and they just don't do anything. Because all you're doing is
scheme controls.
Scheme control. And the fact that he's only played 2 years is a little bit.
I didn't think he was that good at Iowa. I'm one of the rare people that said, "Look,
he was okay. He was good.
I got why he got some credit, but
he was good.
If you told me healthy linebackers around the Big Ten Conference, he's 6 or 7.
Yeah, well, he's a D tackle. He's a D tackle. I mean, but he's a physical freak. I mean, to be 6'5", 275, 285, 5%.
Where would you play him?
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's my question.
He's not Will Anderson off the edge.
Right.
I don't know if he has the bulk. Well, in this day and age, in a nickel defense, I can see him as a pretty good 3 technique. But is that worth a top 10, 15 pick? That's where you might be looking into a bust material. Then you start just throwing guys in there. You got tight ends thrown in there. You got a whole bunch of defensive backs. You got Jordan Addison who left Pittsburgh. He's thrown in there. I don't think he's like a changer, like a franchise changer. You got a D tackle from Wisconsin who I think is good. Then you got Miles Murphy. Then you start to get into a lot of guys that are potential guys, and that's where your draft really falls off. And that's where I think you're going to see a lot of wheeling and dealing. It's going to be also interesting to see what the Buffalo Bills do, right? Because
they should trade up for Levis. Get 2 Josh Allens on the roster.
No.
Wow,
My Josh Allen doesn't put mayonnaise in his coffee.
That's
and eat like rotten banana. The thing with Buffalo is you have a wide receiver 1. Your offense is pretty good, but your offense is so predicated on Josh Allen scrambling around and making plays. So in order to get over the hump, and now you got Aaron down there, so you know that system that in that offense that he runs with him at the helm is going to be legit, especially if they got to run out the clock or late game situations. So that nullifies Buffalo getting maybe 2 possessions at the end of the game. You might be down to 1. We need a legitimate running back. We need to improve the offensive line, and we need to get bigger on the defensive line.
So
you either got to acquire that, draft it, or you better trade for it right now.
Does Buffalo have the trade assets in place to move up to get Robinson? That's literally the conversation in Buffalo.
But is he the type of running back that you want? Or do you want the second or third guy?
No, I want the dude. If I'm Buffalo, I'm gonna prolong Josh Allen's career by 3 years by getting Bijan Robinson.
Oh yeah, you can get Bijan Robinson, or you could put together a trade day draft pick, package to get DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Well, D-Hop's out there. Man.
So then you got 2 number 1s. You got Dalvin Cook's brother. But you still have to replace. You got to get better on the defensive line.
But D-Hop's only going to go to a place where there's an established quarterback, right? Like he's not going to go be somebody.
To Buffalo.
The recent chatter is he's going to get traded to Tennessee for the number 3 pick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but do you want that?
I do not, because that means the Titans are taking C.J. Stroud. So no, I do not want that.
No,
don't ask me about the Titans. I don't care what the Titans
ain't going to take him because your boy Ryan Tannehill said he ain't going to help him.
They don't love Willis, though, and they're going to let Tannehill walk.
Jay,
they just drafted somebody in the second round.
Yeah, they don't like Willis. They're fed up with him already. I don't like that. I don't get it, but that's where they're at.
I like this text question. Scott asked, what do you see the Raiders doing? I have no idea.
Here's what the Raiders are going to do. The Raiders are going to always take the fastest guy in the draft.
Trey, number 7 overall.
I can see the Raiders taking Witherspoon, the corner. I can see the Raiders taking Van Ness, who we just talked about. I can see the Raiders taking a wide receiver. I don't see the Raiders doing what they need to do, is essentially taking Skoronski or somebody like that, because they need so much help on the offense. I don't see them doing the right thing.
Skoronski is the perfect pick. Right. He's the perfect Raiders pick. No nonsense Neanderthal to help your new quarterback and that running game that you need to establish to be vital.
Now, who do you think is going to play quarterback for the Raiders?
They got Jimmy G.
I think
long term.
Well, I think Jimmy G's the guy. To me, he's perfect for Vader. Like here's the perspective. He's Joe Namath to New York Jets.
Well, he's
the perfect.
He's been in that system before,
right?
He's been in the system before. I just wonder.
He will have more marketing than he's ever had in his life. He's going to be out with showgirls. He'll be connected to people.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
he'll get everything that he possibly wants, and he won't have to care. Like he just has to be basic in Vegas to be really good, because he's got dudes, and he has to be basic. Like just don't screw it up. And he's more personable than Carr, right? He's definitely more Vegas than Carr.
Yeah.
for all the stars.
He's sellable, but we're talking about, you got to think Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think dang Russell Wilson's going to get it together with under Sean Payton and Herbert. And then that's a big drop off to Jimmy G.
No, Jimmy G's not scared of none of them.
Oh, I'm not saying he's scared. I'm talking about his performance on the field.
Look, that's a Super Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, he got you there.
Like that's a conference champ.
Did you see him perform there?
Look, you can tell me that the perfect 10 can't cook, bro. Look, I'll figure that out. Too many times we base people on the one thing they can't do. That dude has been in multiple conference championships with less than stellar talent around him all the time.
Okay. So here's what the Raiders are going to do on the draft day, DP, calling it here.
Yeah.
They trading him to the Commanders.
I'm okay with that.
They signed him to a contract. I just think that
Jimmy G with the Commanders, and the Commanders win the NFC East.
I think the Raiders
win the NFC East.
They'll take a quarterback.
They win if the Commanders get Jimmy G, they win the NFC East. You asked for a quarterback in Washington.
I didn't ask for you did.
Better than that. Look, I want that for him. If the Panthers traded for Jimmy G, they would win their division. Like, I'm just saying, I'm not mad at Jimmy G for being kind of a knucklehead, right? For kind of a knucklehead. But, man, that dude's won big games.
DP, the Raiders dude said that since you so much on Jimmy G, they going to Super Bowl.
Yeah. Look, if Jimmy G's the quarterback for the Raiders for 80% of their games, Kansas City is in trouble.
No, DP.
He's not afraid of Kansas City.
No, not having it.
What Kansas City Chiefs defense all of a sudden is the monsters of the Midway? No, man.
But you know what Kansas City has that Jimmy G ain't? Mahomes
is different,
but it's not even close.
But the other talent around them there's better talent in Vegas than there is in Kansas City. Yeah. Let's be honest and not trip. You take Mahomes, you switch Jimmy G and Mahomes, and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl again with Jimmy G.
Right. But guess
you can't say that the other way.
But guess what though?
Yeah.
Andy Reid's the coach, and
I ain't mad at him.
And old boy is the coach down at the Raiders.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
I'm just saying. I'm not the biggest Jimmy G dude, but I'm gonna tell you.
I'm saying that for the future. Yeah. And I'm thinking 3-4 years down the road.
Yeah.
If you find somebody, a Hayden Hooker, a Richardson, I wouldn't be mad if you do it because they can potentially.
Well, I don't know who their backup is, so that's a thing.
Stedman.
No. Yeah, we draft 4th round. We go get Stetson Bennett, and I'm thrilled. If I go from the Raiders,
Bennett,
if I'm in the
DP, you like all your quarterbacks look like insurance salesmen.
Look, I need to trust my quarterback.
Man, that ain't gonna win you no Super Bowl. Jimmy G ain't winning you nothing, man.
Look, there's a whole generation of quarterbacks. Look, not everybody. The Patrick Mahomes are rare.
I know.
They're unicorns.
That's why I say Jimmy G ain't got a chance in hell to even compete.
There are no unicorns available. So what do you do? Win as many games as possible.
Man, let me tell you, Stetson Bennett ain't doing nothing up in there.
If he's my backup,
you might as well get Pocket Hercules.
If he's my backup,
you like Pocket Hercules as your quarterback?
A multiple national champion? Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm talking about Pocket Hercules.
If Pocket Hercules is my backup quarterback, I'm cool with
No, I'm talking about as your starter.
Nah.
Oh, man, we got to go to break, man. DP falling in love with these insurance salesmen, man. I think
that's the coach in me, man. Listen.
I think DP liked Stetson Bennett after he saw the cop cam or the cam thing when Stetson Bennett got his DUI.
Well, he got a little swag.
Yeah, I think that Austin, that if DP's in the meeting for the draft meeting, he says, "Listen, I had this is the deciding factor. They turn off the lights and they got the big screen, and DP plays that. That's why we draft. That's old school. We're going to break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk draft picks, and then we're gonna send you guys off." DP, J. Foreman, Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. It's April, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
This is former Husker Kenny Wilhite. Some kids worry about basic math, others worry about basic needs. In Lincoln, 132 kids are receiving intensive support from Cedar Street Outreach Team. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day on May 24th, your gift goes even further. Go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln kids. That's givetolincoln.com, helping kids through Cedars.
Getting experience to jumpstart a meaningful career can be difficult, and education can cost a fortune. Luckily, AmeriCorps can be the solution. With AmeriCorps, you'll earn a stipend and education award while helping people. Plus, you'll gain professional skills and make connections to help you build your career. If you're ready to start a career you can be proud of, visit Find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. DP's off to do what DP does, doing a keynote speech tonight. Me and Austin are holding down here. Austin, we are less than an hour and a half. We got the draft coverage on every TV possible. You got Kirby Smart and David Pollock talking about Jalen Carter and the host of other Georgia Bulldogs that possibly could be first-round picks, and Stetson Bennett, DP's insurance man / franchise quarterback, is up there. They're talking about. We know, Austin, you're on pins and needles because you got your Andrew Luck jersey on.
Don't act like you're not worried about Texans too.
I am, but it's funnier to you because I've been down this road before as a player and looking at the draft, it was like, we got a long season ahead of us. But I understand it now as a fan, obviously being a former Texan and Bill and all that other stuff, how you want your team to win. And you guys have been blessed with two all-time great quarterbacks, Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. I felt like the Colts did Andrew Luck a disservice and didn't protect him and didn't change the way he played, but so forth. Who cares?
Hey, they did give up a first-round pick for Trent Richardson too. So
yeah, I know that was really good. But I want to know what your anxiety level is for this draft, and
what's the scale I'm grading on?
Let's go 1 through 7. 7 being the worst. 1 is like it's just another day in the office. And the second question is, what scenario would you feel okay with if they draft Will Levis? Is there a scenario that you could sleep at night knowing that Will Levis eventually, within a year or two, is going to be your starting quarterback?
I'll answer the second question first. No. And that's just me. Again, I don't have the NFL eyes. I'm not in the evaluation room or process or anything. He's Meathead Mitch. He's Mitchell Trubisky. That's what he is. That's how I view Will Levis right now.
He's
and I've seen
the Barber BK. He's the
yes.
he's the bro quarterback. That's what he is. He's the bro quarterback.
He's the bro quarterback. Yeah. And I don't know enough about, number one, this Colts staff to know how they develop. I know Steichen's track record, but I also know, who he's worked with Phillip Rivers, with Justin Herbert, with Jalen Hurts. Those are dudes. Yeah. I don't know if
you
Will
didn't
Levis
have to do
is
much with those guys. They were ready-made essentially when it came to the league.
Right. I don't think Will Levis is that. So my anxiety level on a 1 to 7 is probably a 7.5 when I get my heart rate down, but otherwise it's like a 10. I love the Colts. I root for them. I follow them. I'm not as invested into them as I am like, Nebraska sports, even Duke basketball.
Right.
I want to get to that level again.
Right.
I was there and they're making the playoffs every year. It's just been so easy for me to slip back out of it because some of the moves they've made have been head scratchers. The end of every season ends up just crushing me. So I want to get to a spot where I can care for 17 games again.
Right.
Will Levis doesn't get me there. If they're not going to take a quarterback, which here's the thing, Bryce and CJ are off the board. Don't take a quarterback, please. That's where I'm at with it. Take Jalen Carter at 4 if he's there. Trade back at someone else. Take Caleb Williams next year. I don't know, but I'm not sleeping tonight if Will Levis is my quarterback.
So what about Richardson or somebody after that? Okay, let me ask you this. Will Levis or who else would be starting?
Well, it's Minshew.
So you want to go through 17 weeks?
I don't want to, Jay. I don't want to.
Well, that's what you're saying.
I would rather go through 17 weeks of Minshew than Will Levis.
Man.
Because then that gives me a chance at Caleb Williams.
Right. It's just pretty much that's like going through a whole week of diarrhea versus with the hope that Pepto-Bismol will work in 7 days.
Trust me, I know, Jay. You mentioned Anthony Richardson too.
Right.
I think he's going to be there.
Okay, let me ask you this. I don't mean to cut you off. Would you sleep better knowing going to bed tonight at midnight or whenever the draft probably be 5 hours, but just going to bed tonight at 11 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Would you sleep better? We know you ain't sleeping with Will Levis because we know you ain't coming in. You just gonna stay up all night and not come in. Would you be able to go to sleep with them drafting Anthony Richardson? at any point.
I get to bed, I'm tossing and turning.
Yeah.
But
do you eventually go to sleep though?
I'll sleep, but I'll be in and out of it.
Yeah.
Richardson, the people I've read talk more highly about him than Levis.
Right.
So I don't think, according to those people, his floor is as low as Levis's could be.
Right.
We know what the upside looks like with the athlete he is. But again, I just got done calling Levis Meathead Mitch. That's what Anthony Richardson is in a different way.
Right. Yeah.
You know, 1.5 years of starting experience, not overwhelming numbers.
Not dominant.
Yeah. So, again, I come back to the same issues with I don't know if I can trust the staff to develop. I like Richardson a little bit more than Levis, but not that much more.
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, it's a hard thing to do because as much as we're talking that we don't think Will Levis, he could end up getting it together. I mean, they're saying the same things a lot about Josh Allen, but Greg Roman was there in Buffalo that curtailed the thing, and then it was Brian Daboll, the head coach of the Giants, took it a step further. So I think the biggest thing is Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are essentially plug-and-play guys, and they won't embarrass themselves. I think when you think of Richardson, I think it's definitely Will Levis. You have to get them in the right situation with the right team, the right GM, and the right coaching staff to get the maximum out of them.
Yep.
I don't think any of these quarterbacks getting drafted are yellow jacket guys. Now, I think obviously they could if they get in the right situation, but I think they could be what I call franchise quarterbacks are in this day and age. See, a franchise quarterback, like I guess when I was coming out or even before, is like a Peyton Manning, a John Elway. You know, they're going to be there.
Career guys.
And, you know, Peyton ended up going to Denver, and Elway never did. But, you know, Brett Favre, where he's there, you know what I mean? Where those are the guys, they're franchise guys. I think franchise guys now are anywhere from 4 to 7 years.
That's crazy how that paradigm shifted.
I mean, it is. Well, one is because teams now, they want to win on a rookie contract and they don't want to pay you. We just seen this with Lamar Jackson. But then you get some organizations that get it right, a la Cincinnati Bengals and the Chargers, where they're more than happy to we want to lock you in for 15 years. So
Kansas City.
But then you got teams like the Jets. They drafted Will, took a flyer on him, kind of like Anthony Richardson. He made a couple throws. You know, they're talking about the moxie, and, you know, they're trying to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, different arm. I mean, straight up, different arm angles, had a good workout and all that. The pro day, threw a ball. Then they started, compare him to Patrick Mahomes. And now he's sitting in New York, and he's going to be sitting on the bench, and he's ready. They're ready to get rid of him, but there's nobody that pick up the phone, right? Then you think about Green Bay. They had the luxury of drafting a guy and not, for whatever reason, in the first round and not playing him. Or Trey Lance. Again, Trey Lance is more like Richardson. Very minimal starting experience, a ton of upside, huge arm.
And what Lance even did was down a level too.
Right. Legs. We can get him in our system and he could flourish. Now, Trey Lance got hurt, but Anthony Richardson, if they try to bring this Philadelphia Eagles type of thing, then you might be able to sleep. Be like, okay, you know what? I've seen them do it with Jalen Hurts. I can actually see something tangible with a bigger, faster, stronger arm, person than Jalen Hurts. But the thing is that these guys, Will Levis that I question, I don't know much about Anthony Richardson, about the leadership qualities or the heart. The thing that makes Jalen Hurts is his mind and heart. And those are the things that they aren't talking about over there, right? Like Nick Saban, I like that suit though, by the way.
He's rocking it.
Yeah. I mean,
look at Nick.
I don't know if that's like Alabama pink or whatever. I mean, he's looking smooth. So I can guarantee you what he's talking about with Bryce Young. How tall he is, and I think he got measured at 5'11" and 7'8". He's 6 foot tall, and he's 204 pounds. But he has the heart of a champion. He has the leadership skills, kind of like a Drew Brees, where he can kind of galvanize a team, right?
He's got a good brain.
Got a
good
great
mind,
brain.
good
Process
learner.
it and been coached by an NFL coach and Bill O'Brien. He's not talking about that right now. And that's what they should be talking about, because generally that's what helps you be successful or not. Bill Parcells says it. You have to have 2 or 3. You have to have, 7 qualities that he had. None of them talked about any of the things that we're talking about right now. And that's what really scares me about Will Levis. That's what really scares me about if Houston doesn't draft a quarterback. That's what scares me about that maybe we overlook DP's boy and Stetson Bennett. That's what scares me if you aren't willing to take Hooker at the end of the first round and want to be a cheapskate and think we're going to get him in the middle of the second round, and then somebody takes him because what Hayden Hooker has, Will Levis doesn't have. Leadership qualities.
That's a grown man. He's been through it.
You're right. An ability to galvanize a locker room, a franchise, guys that will follow him, and he will lead you through storms. Those are the qualities that you need as a quarterback, and not once have they ever talked about it. I got an interesting text here before we go to the short segment. My man Sanderson says, Jay Foreman, remember the old team phones in the old draft days using the phone-shaped helmets? Yes, I do. That was always the coolest. Unfortunately, when I got called, I picked up my Nextel, and they was just, I know my name went on the thing, but I think I got drafted during a break, and they got me after the break. Those days were over, but it was pretty cool though to see those phone helmets. And I think that they weren't even like calling anybody because they generally were like turning in the card and they were calling from the back. But that was needless to say was pretty cool. I wonder if teams keep those.
They better.
I wonder if they have like a shed of all archives. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like jerseys or draft cards. The funny thing about it is I saw on a chalkboard, where they did the draft, and my dad was on there, when he got drafted. Back then it was, I don't even know if my dad even knew he got drafted. When he got drafted, they didn't have a cell phone, so they could have called my dad's apartment, when he was in college, and he might not have answered,
Right.
And so,
read about in the paper the next day.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We should have my dad on, next week and talk about when he got drafted and stuff like that. But it's definitely different and changed. I wonder if teams have archive stuff like that, because it would be pretty cool 10 years from now. Because 10 years from now, they're probably drafting you by text. Right. Zooming
man,
in.
Hey, minicamp starts.
Yeah, this is when minicamp starts. We'll see you. And there, and so, anyways, I think the draft, I love the draft. I'm going to be watching it over and over all night tonight. And our teams are definitely making us lose sleep. We got 2 new coaches.
I like yours.
DeMeco Ryans. I hope he gets a legitimate chance. Houston last 2 years have been given golden parachute packets of Lovie Smith and the other guy, Dave Coley. Hired him, and you have to take the job. Fired unfairly, but Lovie Smith got fired for beating the Colts. He's like
David Coley got done dirty.
David Coley got done, but you got to take the check. Hopefully, DeMeco Ryans DeMeco Ryans is the best linebacker I think in Texans history. Yeah, he is. I think he is. If he's not, he's one of them. But he's one of the best leaders to be there, especially being new, and has worked his way up. Even when he was playing there, say he's going to be a great coach. I hope they give him a chance because I think he can do some great things for the organization, and he's a great football coach. It starts tonight for him. I hope they don't. If they draft a guy defensively, I hope it's somebody legit, willing, because they are kind of like the same. Get a quarterback that he can groom, then go from there. But we're going to go to break, come back at the very last segment. We are going to bet who the Houston Texans draft and who the Colts draft. Austin, Jay Foreman, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great. We're
definitely
coming back.
For sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. The faculty and staff of Wilber-Clatonia School District reminds us April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Please remember you reduce your accident risk by over 1,000% by staying off your cell phone when driving. Please make an impression on teen drivers regarding the threat or hazard that cell phone driving poses. There's a lot more at stake than a mere traffic ticket with motorcycles, bicycles, and our children at play. Slow down and watch out for kids always. For student safety, call 402-821-2266 or visit wilbur-clatonia.org.
Welcome back, Husker fans. Eustace Body Shop is happy to welcome the best fans in college football back to Lincoln. With gold class certified service, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop can call the right plays to keep you in the game. Whether it's in Lincoln at 88th and Highway 2 or at any of our other 5 locations across Nebraska, Eustace Body Shop can help get you back on the road. Go Big Red.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Spring is here, and Acres has special financing on all John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Get your yard looking great and use John Deere's wide selection of attachments to landscape your property to perfection. And for a limited time, with a purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Acres, solutions for every field.
For great views, go to Kansas. For unforgettable views of action-packed racing, go to Kansas Speedway. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 6th and 7th. Get your tickets today at kansasspeedway.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
There's a new way to vacay when you fly LNK. Check out brand new service at the Lincoln Airport to some of America's favorite travel destinations. Catch convenient nonstop flights to Vegas, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Orlando, Austin, Dallas, or Nashville when you fly via Redway. With so many affordable options to choose from, planning your vacation has never been easier. Visit GoFlyRed.com and book today. Flights are public charters offered by Global X Air Tours LLC and operated by Global Crossing Airlines Incorporated.
Chances are you've tried fruitcake before. Chances are it looked pretty weird. Lots of colors that don't really exist in nature. Chances are it tasted weird. Chances are you need to try fruitcake again. Grandma's fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. None of that weird stuff you didn't like. Just real fruit, premium nuts, and the delicious flavor combination of brandy, bourbon, and rum to meld all that together. See for yourself. Grandma's Fruitcake from Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to World of Yum.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, partly sunny skies expected today. A great spring day with an afternoon high of around 70. Tonight, though, we'll see a chance of showers and an overnight low of around 48. And tomorrow we'll see that showers chance continue. Cooler and windy conditions tomorrow with a high of around 60. A meteorologist Al Fleck for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Am I in on this?
Yeah, go ahead, AG. AG, let me ask you this, man. Since it's the draft, we both have been very fortunate to get drafted.
Yes.
You know what's funny is AG came in. I was older than you, right?
Yep.
He came in, and then his butt left before me. He was a bad boy. But when AG decided to go early, he was ready, more than ready, physically, and he made a huge jump mentally. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
As far as quarterbacks, right?
Right.
But then for AG, it was like a no to leave college early, especially Nebraska, running back they wanted to get all the tread out of you there. You know what I'm saying? AG done had tons of carries. They like, nah, bro, we need 300 more out of you so we can win another championship. Right. Yeah, AG, you messed it up for us like next year. But anyway, when AG decided to turn, I was more excited for him. Well, it couldn't be than him, but I was more excited for him. First of all, the brother just went off the map. Okay, he went out in California, and then I didn't see him to the pro day. But talk about it, AG.
Yeah.
Look, you went later than you should have.
Oh wait, we are that. We
know
that.
History is you've already proven that,
right?
But even though, and I probably went a little bit later than I thought I should have. That's
right.
I always tell people, if you ain't going number one, you going too late. That's what you think, right?
Yeah.
Talk about when you got the call. Was it more relief, excitement, and then I know you always had that anger just because of the chip on the shoulder.
Oh yeah.
But was it more relief and excitement? Or was it kind of, for me, it was a lot of relief.
It was a little bit of both. It was definitely relief because now I know where I'm about to live my life.
Right.
And I told Randy Mueller, who was the GM at that time, that's who called me.
Yeah.
I said, hey, in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna be there for the next 10 years. I told him, look, I'm about to be the best player that you had at the running back position in a long time. I'm about to do it for 10 years or whatever I can do it. I said that to him. He's like, all right. Then we'll, talk to your agent, get everything settled up, get you here in a week or two. So it's like that was my mindset. But when I went, sitting there all day, third round, when I was told first round,
right,
and then what I produced at the pro day, you were there.
Yeah, oh yeah, I seen it.
You saw the stuff, and it wasn't you can't unsee what you saw.
Right.
I can't redo it now, but just knowing that I did it and thinking that from the previous drafts and combines I heard about, guys that run 40s this fast, jump this high, throw up the reps on the bench press.
Yeah.
It's no doubt that you're going first round with those stats. And I had first round stats, but still got drafted in the third round. So that caught up to me once I got back to my apartment, where I trained. And it bothered me. I didn't go to sleep right away. I was up for a few hours, just like what, this, because I was told one thing and something else happened.
Yeah.
I'm just turned 21.
Yep.
And I'm still a kid, basically.
And that's the way we did things here, though.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand is like, the coaches say, if you do X, Y, and Z,
exactly.
this is going
to be your time
and
or whatever.
And the competition was there. So I understand that, man. But, I think for me, it was more relief and excitement because it got to the point for me. Now, I was late in the fifth round. Finally, I was like, man, if I go after sixth round, I'm like bumping. I don't even want to get drafted.
Right.
But let me tell you something. When that 716 came on my next tail, I said, hello. Wade Phillips said, hey, we're going to draft you. Cool. I love you.
Right. Yeah.
But I ain't never interviewed with Buffalo.
Right.
That's the two places I didn't want to go was Buffalo and Green Bay.
They took you without talking to you?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Dorsey Levens. He didn't want to go to Green Bay, where he got drafted.
But guess what, though? So Buffalo had all the intel on me because George Darlington we used to get defenses from Buffalo and Carolina. So they knew all about me.
Oh, because Kevin Steele.
Right. So but then, I'm in Nebraska. I'm thinking like, I don't want to go play in Green Bay. I grew up Viking fan. I didn't want to be, who the hell do I think I am? Tell me I want to go play. I was like, shoot. I interviewed with all the teams except Buffalo and Green Bay. I'm like, I'm cool. Buffalo came and saved me, man. Thank you, Buffalo. Thank you, Wade. And the Buffalo Bills, man. You guys got me, man. So I appreciate it. Draft day. I'm excited. AG, have a good show.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you stepping in.
Yep.
And Austin always holding it down.
Always.
We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Always. Hey, Will Levis is in the house. Ask him about Will Levis. Anyways,
we're done about Will Levis. We're done with that.
We're gonna pass it off to AG. They'll continue the Will Levis thing. Jay Foreman, old school. We are out.